All right. What up? What up? So we here, special day today, first episode of our podcast, Behind the Boot, a Louisiana sports podcast. I'm joined by my two co-hosts here. I got Big Dan to the left of me. You know what I'm saying? How you
What's
feeling,
going
Dan?
on, man? Ready to bless the world with this good Southern sports take.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And to the bottom, I got my ball Flo. How you doing, Big Jared?
Cool, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Cool.
sir. So,
Hard days of work.
yes, sir. So this podcast, a Louisiana sports podcast, where you get a nice fans perspective on the things that's going on in Louisiana sports. We want to focus on the Saints, the Pelicans, everything LSU. Might even throw a little Houston Astros in there. You know, whatever's going on for the people in the region, we gonna speak on it. We got a few good topics on the docket today for y'all. And of course, we gotta start off with a heavy topic from New Orleans sports right now. Everybody talking about this. There's a talk of the league. My man's Drew Brees retired. He finally hung it up, y'all. I need
I
I
can say
need y'all
thank you,
I,
Jesus.
I
Thank you.
need y'all perspective, man. What y'all think? Y'all think we moving on to a good era, or we going back to Saturdays? What y'all think?
I guess I'll go first, Jared, since I'm the older brother.
Go ahead, do you think?
Elders first. But and what can you say, man? Top five quarterback of all time. I would try to say that as unbiased as I can. But, you look at the numbers, man. Number one in completions, number one in yards. Of course, second in pass feed because Tom Brady is nothing but a cheater. But we're gonna leave that for another day, y'all. But as far as just him being one of the most prolific passers of all time, as far as Sean Payton and him being a perfect marriage for having one of the greatest offenses of all time, probably, almost I probably say number one of all time, real close to be the greatest show on turf. St. Louis Rams, Kurt Warner, Isaac Bruce, and all those guys. But as far as his legacy is concerned, really only had that one hiccup last year with with the protests going on and everything. I feel like he made it right in his team's eyes and whatnot. But as far as him being a leader for the community in New Orleans and Louisiana as a whole, you really couldn't ask for better for the past 15 years. Maybe he held on a little too long for the past 2 or 3 years. But he had a little right to do that. Him bringing us our only Super Bowl and everything, and I can't say enough good things about the guy on all the field. Just kind of ready for us to move on. It's hard to replace a legend in Drew Brees, but I really feel like, as just on a football standpoint, it was time for us to move on and expand the offense and start throwing the ball down the field. And that's all I got on that top. I'll pass it to my boy Jared real quick.
What you think, Jerry? We moving on to greener pastures, or are we going back to some struggles?
Well, me personally, I feel like this can go either one or two ways. This can either be a Green Bay Packers situation, and you can have Brett Favre, and then boom, you draft Aaron Rodgers and you don't miss a beat. Or you can go, say, as in the Buffalo Bills. They had Jim Kelly, and then after that, where it's been 40 years since they now just got Josh Allen. Like,
Yeah, I hope that's
Yeah,
not what we
tough,
looking
tough,
at New Orleans. That would be
I
tough.
mean, that would
tough,
be
tough.
a very tough situation to handle. But I feel like until they prove otherwise, I know, 80-20 faith in Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton to get this right. I mean, they just signed Jameis. It's a win-win, more like a prove it deal. You know what I'm saying? He's either he can ball out this year, and then next year they sign him to a bigger contract, or he just sucks. Taysom Hill sucks, and then you gotta start all over again. Draft quarterback. I still think they're gonna draft a quarterback in this year's draft. Maybe something like Mac Jones fall, or maybe the tables just line up perfect for him. But
Yeah, that's actually been the talk that they might trade up to get Jones if he fall far enough.
yeah. But
So
I just think they can't trade up too far because they still got other needs. Drew is irreplaceable when it comes to the mental aspect of the game. Drew just his pinpoint accuracy, just being able to fit the ball in tight spots. But it's obvious that the offense lacked the past 2-3 years, and the deep ball was non-existent, and it showed when it got time to playoff time. It's like that's all they did was just play underneath. There, Drew to throw the ball over the top. If they wasn't wide open, then he wasn't throwing it. So
yeah,
I feel like with Jameis back in there, that aspect would only just grow. I mean, Deontay Harris started coming around towards the end of the season. Maybe he takes a leap. Hopefully, Michael Thomas stay healthy. As long as Jameis just knows not to force the ball and take your check down, I think he'll be good. My
So
yeah,
opinion.
basically, what you're saying, Jared, Drew Brees has been a regular season quarterback for the past 3 years.
I mean, I wouldn't want to say that because Drew still outperformed the majority of quarterbacks. If your name wasn't Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers, top 5 quarterback, any team would have took Drew Brees at the helm of their quarterback. It's just when it came time, playoff time, when teams actually start, we're gonna make you beat us over the top. It was just non-existent, and he don't have the arm to fit the ball in those tight situations, etc. You know, going across the middle or shit. For example, that Devin White pick, he thought he can fit that ball right there. Boom, Devin all over pick.
yeah,
That's exactly my point. Exactly my point as far as regular season. Defensively with any defense, they're not gonna complete, especially playoff teams. They're not really gonna show their hand. Especially they think about, we're gonna see these guys again in the playoffs. I just felt that them blowing the Bucks out, by what combined almost 50 points.
Damn.
With the 38-3 in that for the night game, and what it was, 38-20 in that first game they played the season. So those blowouts, they had the blueprint to beat them, but it's just I hate for that to be Drew's legacy as far as just these past 3 playoff years, man. Just coming up short, not able to get the ball on the field. Because my thing is like they took America completely out of the game as far as in Tampa Bay game. That's Drew's security blanket, and like they literally took him out of the game because Drew couldn't get it to him. Even as far as the zip on his short throws wasn't there, especially after the rib injury. Like everything was floating. If you notice, like the signature drag route Michael Thomas usually work, the over route. He come from one hash and just crosses over. When I seen he had to throw his whole 200-pound body frame to get that ball to Michael, and it just quacked 20 yards down the field, bro. I just knew it was gonna be a long day, man. They barely got by Chicago. Chicago was not a good team. Chicago just scraped their way in the playoffs. NFC was a little weak at the bottom this year, but we beat Chicago 20-9. You know, I just don't feel like I mean Vikings we lost 30-20. That Super Bowl hangover. With him throwing that pick against the Rams. I know the pass interference, but
Better chance to win that game.
had a chance to
yeah.
win.
See,
About
see,
I
y'all a whole lot nicer than me, man. Look, this how we rocking on Behind the Boot. This is the podcast where you can get a real, legit, just raw take. And I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna say just the regular stuff, all the the praises that you gotta sing. he top 5 in my opinion. I know a lot of people, they was actually debating that on ESPN all week if he was considered one
Which
of
was
the
laughable, by the way.
elites. I
Laughable.
think he top 5 easily. Like there should be no debate, but apparently it's debatable. But I give him top 5. If not top 5, then he for sure top 10 to ever do it. I'm thankful for all the shit he did
Definitely.
for the city. We had a long run, as long as I can remember. I'm almost 30. So as long as I can remember,
Facts.
before the Drew Brees era, we was shit. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah.
I appreciate him coming into the city, changing the culture of the team. What him and Sean Payton did together, legendary shit. Can't ever doubt that. But I will say the past 2 seasons, what he caused, what he ruined, the potential, what could have been, good riddance, man. Fuck him. Fuck him. I love you, Drew, but fuck him. I love you, man.
Damn.
I love you. He a legend.
Come on,
But
Ryan.
this past season,
And
bro,
you
and
know,
this is why I feel how I feel. So this past season, he knew his ribs was fucked up. He knew his shoulder was all out of place. He couldn't fucking throw the ball 5 yards without damn near dying. Why wouldn't you as a if you actually care about the team and you're not just playing for your personal legacy, your personal whatever the fuck you're trying to achieve with your career, if you're not just caring about that, why wouldn't you say, hey, look, I can't go. That we ain't gonna win like this. Jameis, step up. Taysom, step up. Whoever it is, somebody got to step up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what leave aside what Taysom out because I see what he was trying to do. Like if he go in there and he even if he just get us to the Super Bowl, let's say you don't even win it, but you get us to the Super Bowl. I can see, all right, this is the, you know what I'm saying? This your last dance. You trying to do what you got to do. But he let selfishness get in the way when he knew he was too injured to, you know what I'm saying? He just didn't have it. And you should have stepped down. You should have been able to say, look, I can't go. I trust my teammates. And he didn't do that.
and you're right, Ryan. I can really, really agree with that take, man. I guess I was being a little political correct, I guess you could say. But yeah, of course, like I said, it was a very selfish move for him to even consider coming back. Just by that Chiefs game, you know. You could tell he wasn't right, man. It just felt like every time I seen him, he was rubbing his rib cage or something like that, or his little signature his little shoulder thing. He kept doing it more and more. You know,
Yeah.
the older
Yeah.
he got, you can tell he always had maybe a little pain since the since the
Oh
first
man.
since that first rotator cuff injury he had, in
I
San
hate
Diego,
that
which was
shoulder, bro.
horrific.
I hate that
But
shoulder, bro.
but it just got worse and worse. He'll maybe do a little this, try to mask it a little bit and rub his chest. But as it got a little later on in the season, you started seeing him doing a little shoulder rub. And we just knew something wasn't right. And you're right. I just felt that if he was the rib cage is totally separate, man. You can come back from a rib cage injury or a bone or a broken bone or something like that. They do all the time. People play with broken bones or fractured, anything like that, all the time. That's part of the NFL. Um, but the rotator cuff injury, if that was true, was completely
His
out of
wife said it.
line,
I think it's
and it
true.
was
She
and
wouldn't
it was
cap on him.
completely and it was. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. So it was completely selfish on his part as far as that injury because think about it, man. A rotator cuff injury, man. That is a 12-month injury, man. That is a serious rotator cuff happens to pitchers in the MLB, and they're out anywhere between 12 to 16 months.
Yeah.
That is the second to worst injury a person that uses their shoulder to torque and throw all the time, a
Yeah.
person that could have, besides having the Tommy John surgery,
Yeah.
in baseball, So I felt like that was selfish. And if he did have the rotator cuff injury and he was really hurt, he should have stood aside. Hey, Sean, man, it was fun. I gave the city all I got, get the team all I got. My body just can't go anymore. And I think that's why he really retired. Because I felt like if he thought he could have did it again and he thought he could have stayed a full season healthy, he probably would have came back because that's the type of guy he is, a competitor. Nobody really want to hang it up. But, I think he did this for one, personal gain, and two, what is my last ride? I'm gonna give everything I got to the city and the team. There's one last time. and I'ma just throw my body in the line and try to get us there. And he just couldn't do it. Not even being maybe I would say that's the Drew Brees we saw at the end of the playoffs was probably a quarter of the Drew Brees he could have been. I don't think he was 25 to 30% healthy. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Cause
But
um
that's why I put it on him to be the one that should be able to say, like, look, I know my body, I know what I can do. I understand that that was what you thought was your last opportunity to do something, but you should have at some point been able to admit to yourself, like, look, I just can't go.
oh yeah, yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But that's pretty much all we got on Drew, man. We ain't gonna stay on that for the entire show. But that lead us into our next topic. So what I wanted to ask y'all was if you in the front office of the New Orleans Saints franchise
Oh,
and
here
you
we go.
sitting there and you looking at the quarterback situation, are you confident with Jameis or are you confident with Taysom? Are you really pushing to try to chase a free agent or a trade move? Because apparently, according to Sean Payton today, we still got a few phone calls to make at the quarterback position. I know
that,
a lot
that
of
that
people.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
The only phone
I
call he
think.
making is about Russell Wilson. But other
That's
than
the
that,
only phone call that need to be
Yeah,
made. Is
I
if
mean,
other than
Russell
that,
coming down.
I've been hearing a lot of is getting a lot of traction with Sam Darnold. They
no,
thinking he a possibility.
And if they wanted Sam Donald, my thing is if you know there's a possibility, you can get Sam Donald for a second, possibly even a third. You probably could have given him third and Jameis, but I don't know what that thing is
but
on
why
that.
though?
But
Yeah, I would
I like
that.
Sam Donald. I feel like Sam Donald has been in the probably one of the worst situations and worst franchises ran in the
Yeah,
probably
for sure,
20 years.
for sure.
Besides the little hiccup they had with Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez from the 2 or 3 years, the Jets have been poo for most of our lifetime. Let's be honest, right here, man.
Yeah,
Like the Jets ain't really been good. So but as far as if I was Mickey, you know, I'll put on my marble, Sean Payton, on my marbles and Sean Payton, and let him make a coach's decision. But if I was Sean Payton, as far as that, Jameis would be the starter. I mean, I know y'all guys know, just being, knowing me, most of y'all like y'all know Jameis is my guy, and rocking Winston, Florida State. I love his charisma, his personality is not all there, man. I think Jameis is a screw loose, but we're not gonna
W's,
go there, bro.
W's, bro.
We
I
eat them
like
W's,
Jameis, man.
man.
I
We
like
eat them
Jameis, bro.
W's. But as far as
W's,
arm
bro.
talent and able to get the ball on the field, and people fail to realize that Jameis is a very smart quarterback. He had that LASIK surgery on his eye that he's been putting off, but I really feel like that with proper coaching and because Jameis has been through what three offensive coordinators since he's been in Tampa out of 6 years. He never really had a steady person always in his ear coaching him up. And let's be honest, that coaching staff that won this thing right here with Bruce Arians and Byron Leftwich, let's keep it real, man. That wasn't the offense they started off with in Tampa, man. That was Tom Brady's offense. He modified it, and they started to take off whenever Tom Brady modified. So that risk it, no biscuit offense. That is Bruce Arians' offense, and that's what had them, 6-4 out of 10 games whenever they start off the season. So they turned the switch on and said, "Hey, man." Tom Brady went to Bruce Arians and was like, "Hey, if you want to win, you can let me run this offense the way we need to run it so we can win." So
Yeah,
that's what happened during that. So as far as just Jameis getting the coaching from Sean Payton a full off season, I really think we can take off. Taysom, sorry, the experiment is over. As far as being the starting quarterback, um, he just don't have it, man. Like he just don't have it. He doesn't have the mental, um, the capacity right now, the awareness to actually make proper reads and get rid of the ball. Hangs on to it too long. The only thing he can do is come in and throw a deep fucking post every here and there, or fucking do this. Uh, uh, man, like you know how many times this dude hold on to the ball, took him so long to wind up. people just wide open down the field, and he get hit from behind. He's fumble the ball.
Yeah,
Like
he a turnover machine, man.
he doesn't have
That is disgusting.
like pocket awareness, man. Something that Drew Brees always had.
Yeah.
You think about it, man. How many times I already seen Drew Brees really get hit? Like really get hit, like get smashed and be like, "Damn, Drew, like, oh, you all right?" I can only think of a couple of them that hit that he got
Yeah,
last year,
not too many times.
and maybe against San Fran in the playoffs. Whenever I forgot who that was. It might have been Patrick Wood that came on a blitz and hit him one time, or it might have been that safety they had. But anyways, it's been a while. Drew Brees has been one of those quarterbacks to avoid those big devastating hits, and when he finally got hit last year, you seen what happened. He damn near killed him, man. They bear hug him and he fractured 12 rib bones, man. So I'll roll with James, man. I wouldn't draft a quarterback high. I wouldn't trade up. I would stay put where I am because we have other needs that we can, try to fill. One is maybe get a better left guard because Andrews can go sit his ass down somewhere because he's always on his ass anyways. So let's just
Yeah,
get that started.
I think his time
So
is,
we can definitely upgrade there. If we can trade him for a Fort, be my guest. He can go, y'all.
think
Like right
he
now,
might be able to
he
get
can
more
go.
than that, man. He been a
Somebody
consistent Pro
wanted to
Bowler.
do that contract.
Right now, I'll take Will Clapp as my starting left guard over Andrews Pete. And that ain't
He been a
biased because he's from
consistent Pro
LSU.
Bowler, Dan. I think we can get more than a Fort for him.
But Ryan,
His
that's really
contract is the problem.
bullcorn, man. Like that is ridiculous,
Nah,
man.
it is. But
Okay,
I'm saying in the league when you making deals, they looking
yeah.
at your resume. He a consistent Pro Bowler, even though we
But
know he's shit.
but
We
be
see him
honest
every
though.
snap.
Be honest. Would he be a Pro Bowler if he didn't have three probably other All Pro linemen on the
No,
side?
definitely not.
Like if Andrews Pete played for the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars, would he be a goddamn Pro
No,
Bowler?
he wouldn't.
Fuck no.
But the
Because
league,
Terrence,
the niggas around the league, they just gotta respect the resume. When
but
you
yeah,
say, "Yo,
but
I made
and
the
the
Pro Bowl
people
multiple times," that's all you need to say, "I got
and
talent." You know what I'm
and that's the
saying?
bad thing about New Orleans being in a smaller market. Like people don't give a fuck about New Orleans sports. Like most
Yeah,
people that up north, so they're not sitting here watching the game, watching Andrews getting his ass whipped. They said,
yeah,
most of the mainstream media is Dallas Cowboys
yeah.
or
What
New
they only
York
see what's on
football.
national TV.
Yeah,
They only see the
exactly,
national
exactly.
televised games.
We sitting here seeing Andrews getting his ass beat, by goddamn any defensive tackle that goes against him. Like I personally think he's a better tackle than he is a guard, but we got two tackles already. Andrews not going to play tackle. The bookends we got is no way he's playing tackle. So I think he maybe can be a good fit to somebody like the Texans or something like that want to protect somebody and maybe get a fourth, maybe a third out of them. I say, but the main thing is, and by the way, don't like Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is an average quarterback that played on a offensive line that probably want to have 3 to 4 first round picks on it. That has a first round running back, has a Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver. At that, y'all. So let's go ahead and kill the North. Mac Jones is not going to be good in the NFL. We've seen this movie far again, many a times. AJ McCarron, Greg McElroy, John Parker Wilson, they all had these numbers, man. All these numbers they had was all comparable to this guy. It's just a system. They run the ball, they play action, and people be running wide open, man. That's just the offense they run, man. It's so hard to stop. They got a good offensive line. They run the ball, and most of his deep shots, Devontae Smith is running past everybody, man. It's like college football refused to double team Devontae Smith. He literally was running down the field, just jogging, man. Shout out to Meet Louisiana boy, boot boy, man. He did his thing. Have no problem against that guy, but he was a problem, and the SEC and the college football refused to respect him as a double team every goddamn play type of guy. But yeah, no, please do not draft Mac Jones, Mickey Loomis, for the love of God.
But couldn't you make the case for the same thing for Joe Burrow? Same numbers. Joe was practically average the year before the Heisman Trophy. I mean, you can't
But
practically. I'm not
That,
saying
that's a
draft the
that's a good
guy
point.
number one. He's not
but
going
but
to
if you
draft number one.
but if you think about it though, did Joe Burrow have the line he had though? Like Joe Burrow had to make some
But yeah,
throws on the run,
I,
running for his life. I never seen Mac Jones scramble a day in his life
no.
or get
But
out the
I'm just
pocket and make a dime.
stats wise though. I mean,
Yeah,
Joe
yeah,
did
but
have two bona fide stars as wide receiver. Yeah, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. We all know what
but
Justin Jefferson's doing in the league
yeah,
now.
but let's be honest though. Like Justin was probably the only established receiver he had. Joe Burrow made Jamar Chase into the star until he got a quarterback because nobody could get him the ball. Justin Jefferson was on his way to becoming a star. But Jamar Chase was a true sophomore, barely got on the field. He didn't get on the scene until the last 4 or 5 games, as far as his freshman year.
Well,
And then
shit.
boom, they exploded.
Yeah, but I was
Um,
he was a quarterback though, Dan.
Devontae Smith was already a star, man. Devontae Smith could have came out last year and be a first round pick. Easy. They could have had 3 first round picks of receivers last year, Alabama. Jerry Judy, Ruggs, and Smith.
Yeah, but you can't
And they
fault the
got
man for
Waddle.
having talent though. He still had to make the throws. I'm not saying he's Joe Burrow. Like I'm
No,
not saying
he
he's
did
gonna be good. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying
he did get touched though. Yeah,
stats
but
wise,
Yeah, that's a good counterpoint because I think a lot of front offices we've been seeing this a lot in the league where people they put all the chips on the table for a certain prospect and they don't pan out. That pretty much happen more often than not. You know what I'm saying? I think they look just looking at the numbers. They just looking at the stats. They're not looking at the individual games, what type of effort certain dudes got to put in. So, I think his draft stock is gonna be high. Like he's set in that. Now whether he gonna be good or not in the league, I don't know. That's something we just gonna have to wait and see. But I think his draft stock is definitely high. Maybe not Joe Burrow high, but it's
no,
high. You know what I'm saying?
no. But I mean, if you think
And I
he
about it,
needs
think
though,
if he
he needs to be a
fall,
second, third round pick, man. He's
but
not a
if
see,
first
I don't
rounder.
know. I think if he fall far enough for the Saints to pick him, and let's say some off on the table for them to trade up and get him, I think they might try because I'm not sold that Jameis is a long-term future piece. I like Jameis. I want him to be that long-term piece. I think he got the potential to be that, but I'm not sold on it yet. I gotta see it. Cause you're right. When you mentioned about he had all the coaching staff changes and everything. What was it like 6 different coaching changes and all that crap? You know what I'm saying? Like that's that's hard for anybody to have like real success when you got no consistency. And when you having that amount of turnover with your coaching staff, it's for a reason. It's because you some shit. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing your job. So obviously he wasn't having the right, you know, offensive minds to put him in a position of success. I think Sean Payton will be able to, if he can't succeed under Sean Payton, he just not built for it. That's how I feel about it. Like if
just
he
one, just just one stat, Ryan. The guy's one of 5 QBs, or one of 7 to throw for 5,000 yards, and
That's a
two of
fact.
them belong to Drew Brees.
That's a fact.
33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. And like I said, me and you went back and check out the his actual interceptions, turnovers in Tampa, and we could account 8 to 10 picks that was actually hit receivers in the hands and was tip drill interceptions. So, if he can cut those down, I wouldn't quite say I don't think Sean's gonna put him in home way in the beginning of the season. So I don't think he'd have a chance to throw 20 interceptions. But if his touchdowns are up, Sean's gonna trust him a little more. So realistically, I can see him throwing for 30 touchdowns. Just from the talent he got. Because Michael Thomas is gonna get 8 to 9 touchdowns. You got Alvin Kamara, he's gonna get 7 touchdowns. You sprinkle in maybe a little Traquan Smith, or I don't know who God knows who the Titans is gonna be. Maybe they draft one.
probably,
My sleeper pick is if they
probably.
can somehow draft up and get Kyle Pitts and trade up and get Kyle Pitts,
Oh
that would be a
no,
match made in heaven, bro. I would really like that. It would fit perfect in their offense, but of course, Kyle Pitts is going top 5, top 6 in the draft, so that's probably a long shot. But if he does end up falling, that'll be a nice selection for them as far as tight end. Because if you look at Jameis, he always had a good tight end in Tampa Bay. Cameron Braid, OJ Howard. So he like having, he has a good security blanket. But realistically, I think Jameis could be borderline Pro Bowler if Sean Payton can get him to hang on to the ball and not throw the ball to the team.
That's a fact. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for what we got on the Saints. It's gonna be a very interesting draft, very interesting off season. I'm really ready to see what they got coming. I will say this: I got 100% faith in the Saints front office. Whatever they do is gonna be the right decision. They've been proven, they draft consistently well. They go and they get the right people in the off season most of the time. So we'll see what happens. But we gonna move it on to another Louisiana organization. What's going on in Baton Rouge, Dan? They with the basketball program, LSU basketball, man. What's going on? Update us.
Man, well, LSU made the tournament again this year. They're going to be facing St. Bonaventure, something like that. They're a 9 seed, LSU the 8 seed. A real tough matchup for them. St. Bonaventure won their conference championship. You want to stay away from those 8 and 9 seed games, man. It's not really an advantage for either team. Those can go either way. They lost a nail biter to Alabama on the last second to beat a number 2 seed in the tournament.
Breaking.
On a last second layup, it was heartbreaking, man. They had 3 opportunities to get that in the hole, and one just rimmed out. Man. It looked like God himself punched the ball out the rim, man. It went down and in. So they have the talent to compete with anybody. They have top. They're a big 3, in this down college basketball season. There's not really any big, huge stars. Besides maybe Cade Cunningham from Oklahoma State, and they got that guy also from Illinois. He's a point guard. He's pretty good as well. But there's not really a big, you know, yeah, he's a number 1 pick kind of guy right now in college. And they don't have a Zion. They don't have a Lonzo Ball. They don't have a Joel Embiid. They don't have a guy to really grasp and be like, man, you know what? That ball is going to be a beast in the league, man. And they just don't have that right now. So right now, LSU, a bunch of veteran, junior, and senior, leadership. Shavonte Smart, Baton Rouge on from Scotlandville, um, has been doing good as far as managing the offense. But they can compete with anybody, man. They can go on a run. Um, they got a superb freshman, a true freshman in Cam Thomas. He reminds me kind of like maybe Nikhil Alexander Walker type. He's strictly about his buckets. Don't play much defense. He gonna shoot it now. He gonna shoot that ball. He gonna shoot 20 times a game. Sometimes he might go 8 for 20, and sometimes he might go, 15 or 20 with 5 threes. And that's kind of the play. He's very streaky. And they have Trillian Walford. He's a sophomore. He was a 5-star recruit coming out last year. He tried to go out last year, but kind of the pandemic, he didn't really have time to make his mark and actually get in the draft stock. So he's probably going this year. He had 32 points against Alabama. He was a man amongst boys, man. He had double-double, and he was playing like a man possessed. So it's a tough matchup for them. I don't really know too much about St. Bonaventure like that, but it's going to be a tough matchup for them, man. I've seen a few highlights of them. They got a good veteran group as well. Those mid-majors, man, they hang on to their place for 3-4 years, and they know how to play basketball, and they're going to scrap and fight you the whole game, man, the whole 40 minutes. So if LSU can shoot good and rebound the basketball, which is a problem, they got Darius Davis as well. That's really a Zion without the athleticism.
Yeah.
He's 6'6", about 240, that can shoot the ball a little bit, and he's scrappy, man. He's more like I wouldn't quite say a Charles Barkley, but he's scrappy. They really have trouble grabbing rebounds, man. That's the problem. So whenever they face a team that's really athletic around the 4 and the 5, they have problems with keeping them off the boards, and second chance points really hurt them. But I expect them to move on past St. Bonaventure, but then they'll probably face the 1 seed in the region, and I think that's when they'll be going home. But a good year for them because I really didn't expect them to actually be in the tournament. I really didn't have enough. They have zero bench. Shaq's son Sharif got hurt; he's out for the year.
Tough.
So they're lacking a big man right now. But they made it, man, and for things to come, there'll be another time. We'll talk another topic. We'll talk about it. But I think the NCAA is going to come hard down on the LSU program probably the next couple of months with the NCAA infractions. Hopefully they don't, ban the program for a couple of years. Maybe they might just have them, a tournament ban for a year or two and reduce a couple of scholarships. That's the best case scenario. Worst case is that they're gonna postseason ban them for a couple of years and take about 5 scholarships away. So it'll be really hard to get LSU basketball back to where they are right now. And Will Wade probably going to get, he probably going to let go after this year. Or they might, I think they might keep him just because the fact, who's going to want to comment and take over that program with the shit he didn't build up.
Right.
So they're
Yeah.
going to let him lay in his own shit and keep his job. And then after they get out of that, then they're going to try to end up moving on because there's no way you can keep him and start off fresh. So they're going to go ahead and just probably keep him and bridge him until find another basketball coach, and which I really think is unfortunate, man. Cause I think Will Wade is a good basketball coach, but you know, it is what it is, man. He tried too hard to win, and you can't be saying that over a phone call, man. You can't be saying you about to pay somebody, man, over a phone call, man. You don't know who listening, man. You just gotta be
Yeah, that's
smarter than
crazy.
that, man. And these big programs, man, they've been doing it for years. Everybody knows this. Even in football, man, Eric Dickerson when he went to SMU those years ago, um, they had him. They paid him. He said, I mean, he didn't go into detail, but everybody get paid on the tail, man. If you want a big player and they got people jockeying for position to get them, you're gonna come off some bread. Let's be honest. It depends if you keep on the wraps or not. That's all what it is. So, um, go Tigers, man. I hope they win and they could go off on a good note and maybe they'll be back in a couple of years, hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, the talent pool is like no real big stars, and in college, just historically, we know in the March Madness, anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to that tournament, everybody pretty much even because we
Even
don't
playing
have
field,
like the
man.
big powerhouses this year, like Duke and Kentucky. They not really super
Exactly, man.
strong. So
And you got Gonzaga as the number 1 seed this year, and a Baylor and stuff like that, man. You don't have this blue blood like a Kansas or Kentucky, Duke.
yeah,
They didn't have the players, man. Most of the players opt out or they went to the G League this year, man. This is going to college basketball to me is a dying league. They have to
yeah,
do something to make these players want to go to college. They're
yeah,
gonna have to end up start paying them, man. If they pay them, I think the college athletes will go back to college because they will want the experience.
yeah,
But
for sure.
you're gonna have to end up giving these kids some type of name and image likeliness from either these video games and this revenue you're collecting from them, basically feeling like it's a slave mentality. Oh, you go out and play basketball for me, but I'm gonna give you a free education and room and board. That's all we're gonna give you.
Yeah.
We're not gonna give you nothing else. I just feel like you're robbing these kids
And it's
because
it's very low tier room and board, very low tier
exactly.
education, and
I
it's
mean,
a
unless you're going to
multi-billion-dollar industry. You know what I'm saying? But that's
exactly,
actually a
exactly,
conversation I want to come back to on a later
yeah.
episode of the pod. But we will keep it on the hardwood. We will talk about the New Orleans Pelicans. So we coming back from the All-Star break, still below 500. We still looking to reach 500. What y'all think the odds that we make the play in? I'm gonna start with Jerry.
Trash.
What you think, Jerry? You think we make the play in?
uh 50-50 at this point, bro. You just don't know what these guys is gonna bring in night and night out, night in or night out. They might come out against Boston Celtics, the Utah Jazz, and just ball out and just flat out ball like a playoff team. But yet they face the Bulls, they face the Timberwolves, and they just get blown out. It's like they come out flat. Like, what is that, dude?
Yeah.
Like, how's that even possible? So that
That's
all that dude is tells me is you saying, oh shit, it's time to play Utah Jazz, the best team in the conference right now. Shit, we gotta ball out. Let's put on our game faces and let's ball.
yeah.
But you go in against the Bulls and Timberwolves and lower tier teams. Shit, we got this, bro. We
Yeah.
don't have to even play good. Just fuck it. Let's just go out there and just play. We still win probably. It's like as soon as they realize and adjust to the game, like vets, like as soon as Zion and Bi and Lonzo and the rest of them get that vet mentality to you gotta bring it every day, then we'll know it.
Yeah.
I mean, you never
Well,
know.
I think Zion already got it. Is Ingram and Lonzo. They the two that's crucial to the team's success that, at least in my opinion, just from watching it, they take nights off. They get their nights where they just feel like they don't have to, like you said, they playing down a competition. So, oh, it's the Timberwolves. I don't have to go crazy tonight. You know what I'm saying? And then you see how crucial the effect is whenever you go against teams that subpar. Like look at who was it? Detroit? Was it
Yeah,
the
bro.
Detroit game? What's the
I
Detroit
don't want to
record?
talk about
They
it.
pretty
Detroit's not
bad.
good, bro.
But
They're not a good basketball team,
they
bro.
got smoked, and it was because Bi decided he was just not gonna play. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to bring at least. I'm not saying you got to play like your life depend on it every single night. That's hard to do over
No,
a
man.
72 game season. But you gotta want to win every night. Like you have to, and you can't downplay any NBA talent. And they've been struggling with that. Like they don't understand what it is to, you know what I'm saying? Like come into each situation as a new situation, regardless if it's the Timberwolves, regardless if it's the Pistons or the fucking um the Thunder, whoever it is. Like you gotta play. You know what I'm saying?
The, this my thing is, man. On a defensive end, man, you can tell when they're engaged and when they want to play. This is my thing. Um, as far as I don't blame Stan Van Gundy as far as the effort, but I do blame him with his actual rotation he's doing right now. Um, look, Eric Bledsoe should not be on the court right now. I'm sorry, like he should not be on the court. He's not playing defense. He's not shooting the ball well. What are you on the court? Why are you starting him? He needs to move to the bench and ride that pine until we can get somebody to get him. I don't give a damn if they trade him for, say, like Jacques, extra popcorn machine at the Smoothie King Center. We need to get his ass out of here, bro. He never wanted to be here. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for him to be here. The rotation is terrible. You should be starting to kill Alexander Walker to me at the two guard.
Well, I think
He
the
comes in.
idea, not to cut you off, but I think the idea behind that, which is has been making more sense as we get closer to the trade deadline, but they didn't want Bledsoe to smoke his trade value like JJ Redick did. So you got to keep him in the on the floor so teams can say, "Oh, I like that. Let me get on the phone and see, if we can go get Eric Bledsoe." Because Eric Bledsoe prior to this season was still he never was like a superstar or nothing, but he was a highly respected player around the league. You know what I'm saying? So I think they wanted him to just showcase that he was still talented enough to have trade value. Because JJ Redick lost a lot of his trade value. A
And I
lot.
think that's a fine line, though, Ryan. You turn a fine line right there. You basically saying we're gonna play him enough to get trade value, but we will sacrifice wins by doing it. You know what I'm saying? I just think that if you were starting to kill Alexander Walker at the two, you'd have instant offense. He plays hard on defense. Now he doesn't get cooked. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say he's a great defender, but he shows effort. Hell, I would even consider starting Josh Hart at the 2 guard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's somebody that brings in effort, that brings intensity on defense. He's going to rebound. He's going to He's going to compete every possession. That's somebody you want that's going to set the tone for the game. When you start off with that tone, nah, you're not shooting this wide open shot. You know what I'm saying? Nah, you're not coming off the screen wide open and shooting. I don't care how far you from 3. You know, Josh Hart picking up people at the half court line. You know what I'm saying? That's a tone setter, somebody you want to actually be there setting a tone for you defensively. Now you suffer a little bit on offense, but Josh Hart can make a 3. You know, he can push the ball up the court. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want nobody. Well, what is Eric Bledsoe doing? He's not creating his own shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
I could take Josh Hart on the court to me. I mean,
I think they know that though. They just, like I was saying, they didn't want to completely kill his trade value because honestly, the more the season went on, it seemed to me like they kept him strictly for the fact that he was a vet. I don't even think they wanted him. Like they just strictly for the fact that he was a veteran presence because we got such a young team.
and
You
if
know
they
what I'm
wanted to
saying?
do that though, we should have kept George Hill.
Yeah.
At least he could shoot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like Bledsoe, I never got the Bledsoe keeping Bledsoe thing. I never got it.
He
But
just streaky because Bledsoe can shoot. He just
I
has
guess to a
nights
little
where
bit,
he
man.
hit 5 threes, and then he got the next night where he can't buy a bucket. You know what I mean?
He
And that
he
happened
played good.
often.
He played good against the Bucks. That's what
Yeah.
we play against. The
He
Bucks.
yeah. Well, we know he was feeling played about that, but I mean, I don't know. I personally I think we still make the play in. I think if we get into the play in, pending what type of moves they make before the trade deadline, and you know what I'm saying. I think if they can get another piece, I know there's Aaron Gordon rumors. I think he would be a nice piece, somebody who can, you know, very athletic, could shoot the ball, play very good defense, which I know Stan would love Aaron Gordon. So we'll see what kind of moves they make. There's a few names on the table, and you can't never write off, if they go and trade maybe for some picks or a young guy. I think you can move people like Melly. You can move
Please, Lord, take him, bro.
Bledsoe.
Please.
I,
That
I
will happen.
I'm almost certain that JJ Redick is all but gone. You know what I mean? Like I think there
Yeah.
was conversations they just dotting the I's and crossing the T's, but he
And
gone.
I really don't think JJ's value has diminished, man. He's just a shooter, man. I think he'll come back and shoot pretty good for a contender. I mean, because you know what you're getting. He's gonna come in, he's gonna shoot, give you the 3 ball, and that's just what he does. Everybody has a spot for a shooter. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's why they want to kind of keep him because he can bring that still sometimes. Come see he showed a couple
Yeah.
of flashes. But as far as our playing chances, I'm more like 60-40. So like Samuel 60-40.
Yeah.
60
I
40.
I could
But
agree with that. I think we got a 60% chance. Now, I will say this. I think pending what the roster look like after the trade deadline, if we get in, I think we a scary team. I think
So
we definitely not gonna be, you know what I'm saying, one of those teams where you could just easy series. You know what I'm
but
saying?
but question. So if we do end up say trading for a big man, maybe Aaron Gordon or Miles
Miles
Turner,
Turner.
like what does that leave with Steven Adams? Like you trading Steven Adams? Like what? Because you get one of those, semi all stars, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna want to play. They're not gonna want to come off the bench with Jackson Hayes, which by the way is playing great. By the way, Jackson is completely turning around. I think he's
Yeah,
definitely the future. If he can stay on this path of what he's doing, he's definitely the future, bro. Like I could see them moving on past Steve Adams after 3 years
for
if they
sure. I
can.
think before then, because honestly, bro, like the past 3 games, and I haven't really got to watch the game that's playing now, but
They have 51-35. Anybody want to ask? Bledsoe just hit a 3. And
that's solid.
he's smiling like he hit a buzzer beater, y'all. Like he's
That's
smiling.
solid. That's solid.
Trash, bro.
But
But
this is what they wanted Jackson to be all along, was to
yeah,
be a rim protector to protect the rim for Zion, because they knew Zion was a little heavy-footed on defense, and he's doing a lot better. At least Zion competes on defense. You know what I'm saying? But
He
they
been
wanted
making
somebody,
strides.
and they wanted somebody back there to cover Zion's and Bi's ass whenever they get beat off the dribble. And he just couldn't do it, man. I don't know if it was his body wasn't right, wasn't strong enough, or whatever he did, or maybe he learned to put his body in position to be able to make them plays for Steve. Because Steven Adams, one thing about him, he might not block a lot of shots, but Steven is always in position. That's one thing. He's always in
Yeah.
defensive position. He's where he's supposed to be. He always in defensive rebounding position. And that's why I think Jackson made his strides at rebounding. I see him come in the game. He'll grab 3, 4, 5 rebounds in 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we always knew he had them dunks in him. That's all he did. Run the floor like a gazelle and dunk on motherfuckers, bro. That's what he did.
Yeah.
But, him being pushed around the paint, you know what I'm saying? Him getting big bodied by the bigger bigs, which is not many anyways. But even somebody like Blake Griffin or somebody like a stretch big Aaron Gordon, or you seen Rudy Gobert back him down and, do Derek Favors. You know what I'm saying? You seen that in the beginning of the year, you know what I'm saying, that he just couldn't handle his own. That's why they had to put Herman Gomez in there, because we know what Herman Gomez lacks as his athletic ability. He makes up for it in his strength and his will to actually compete. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Jackson, man. He's doing great. Hope he keep it up, man. Exactly what we needed. A good, big, strong, tall athlete that could go up and erase people from getting easy layups in the paint, man. That's what we needed. And I hope he continues making great strides in that. Whoever is coaching that guy, keep up the good work.
That's a fact. The
Fellas, I have
future is
one disgusting fact, one disgusting stat. Besides that three Eric Bledsoe just hit, dude was 1 from 12 the past 2 out of 3 games.
that is crazy.
That if isn't disgusting, I don't know what is.
Hurting his trade stock, man. But they
My
they
God,
they came out today and said that he is, and I quote, very available.
I would think fucking so.
I would
Very
think so.
Very
available.
I would
available,
think
bro.
so. But who wants him?
You never know, man.
Who
You
wants him?
never know. There's a
Sam
lot of teams, bro.
Adley, I don't
There's
know,
teams.
man.
I know the Clippers. They express interest in him. They need a point guard. Apparently, they want somebody with a little more offensive capability, which I don't know if Eric Bledsoe got, but
I think it's an upgrade with Pat Bev. I really think that. I
yeah,
could see that. But who they gonna give? What you gonna give us with some picks? I mean, I really don't want to
maybe.
pick. You got. I need a shooter.
That's
Yeah.
what
You
they
need to
gonna
give me
get.
some. You need to give me somebody that can shoot the ball. If that's what we want to do. I
Preferably
mean,
a
if we get a
wing,
pick,
man. A wing player that could shoot.
they ain't got no damn wings, man. Them
All we
boys.
need is a just somebody who can spot up and knock a shot down.
You ain't gonna get that no Eric Bledsoe. I'll tell you that much. That dude is ass.
Even if they can knock it
He's
down
ass.
at a small clip, give me a 37%. Give me, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who you might not be a dead eye, just sharp shooting ass motherfucker, but give me somebody who on a good night they can knock down they fucking shots. Cause Melly not that. And that's what we thought Melly was gonna be.
But that's my
You know
thing
what I
about
mean?
Melly. Like, his confidence is so shook, man.
Well
Nobody's gonna
shit.
want. He'll come in the game and have a wide open three, bro. This motherfucker is gonna look one way and pass the ball out. He gonna pass
I
out,
would be
bro.
shook too, bro. He had one of them games. I can't remember when, but he missed like 6 shots. He was 0 for 6, and Stan sat him for weeks, bro. It was weeks before that nigga got back on the floor, man.
But I'm
It was
saying,
tough
man,
for Melly.
you gotta take a shot, man. I mean,
Yeah, I
He's
think
pulling
that's
a
just as
Sam
bad as
Donald, bro.
missing passing up an open shot.
He's seeing
but
ghosts like Sam
you're
Donald was.
you're up 30, bro. Like, you was up 30 that night. And he had wide open shots, and he still passed it up, bro.
Yeah, but I think that'll do it for the first episode, man. I think it was a real good episode. Behind the boot. You know what I'm saying?
We, we, we forgot about the LSU football, Ron. You missed it.
Oh, we could run through that. We can preview the next season. What y'all think gonna happen with LSU football outside of the
Well,
legal troubles?
I think we might escape that with the football. Hopefully, they got to pay some money on it,
Yeah,
but hopefully They get past that. But the big story coming out today, first practice, first string reps go to Max Johnson.
That's what's
Very
up.
big story coming out of Baton Rouge today. He took the first string reps today. So
That don't mean
that
nothing.
if
Just
that
a
ain't
spring.
telling man,
Just spring, bro.
Miles was the starter last year, man. If he's and they had already said he's looking elite. He's 100% healthy. So if you're 100% healthy and you're a senior, why is a sophomore taking first string and you splitting the reps, second string reps? And not only Max took all the first string reps, you're splitting the second team reps with TJ Finley. What is
That's
that
tough.
Bro.
telling me?
That's tough.
It's just spring. Come on, you can't read. You can't read that much into it. I mean, it's just spring. Still
That's
got
still
summer
tough though.
workouts. I mean, yeah, but I
The
mean,
second
he
team
gotta earn
thing
it.
is yeah. The first
He
team
gotta
I could
earn it.
see. You want to have a healthy quarterback competition. But that second team, if you splitting the second team reps, it might not be looking too good for you, bro. Might not be looking too good.
Exactly, man. My thing is, man.
The guy
Ed
can
said
throw.
it.
He has a
Ed
rocket
said
arm,
it,
bro.
man. He does, bro. I'm not doubting that, but Ed said it. Ed said Max Johnson has earned his first team reps, and that's true, man.
Yes,
I mean, you go on the road and you beat Florida, a top 2 team at the time,
Impressive win.
as a true freshman, man. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Miles was always deer in the headlights. He lost 3 out of the first 4 games he started. He lost against Vanderbilt and Missouri
Come on, guys, not
away.
his fault. The defense was
Man,
pathetic.
I
He
understand
was
that.
still putting up 35, 40 points a game.
He got to learn how to slow it down and give his defense a chance to rest.
Oh,
He
come
was
on. You
out there
can't lay
throwing
that
the
on him.
ball, Jared.
That is the
The
play
the
calling.
the time of
And
possession in those games were completely lopsided. The defense on the field too much. We was already young. You got to learn how to slow the game down a little bit and give your defense the time to breathe. Like they were going like 3 plays on offense and scoring, man. You can't do that. Like when your defense is that young,
McDaniel,
they're struggling. I'm gonna
how
give him
can you?
Mississippi State game. The Mississippi State game, he didn't play bad.
I
But
don't think you can put that on him, though.
That Missouri game, he threw 2 picks to keep the balls in the game. That was bad on his part. Terrible.
Yeah, but that's what you expect. Growing Pains is first time starter. You never played or started a game in what 4 years before last year. I mean, you expect growing pains, and I feel like he still did more than enough to win those
That's another
games.
thing, Jared. This guy lost his job. He lost a QB battle to Danny Edlin.
All right, come on, guy.
Danny
I
Edlin, bro,
mean,
from Purdue, bro. Come on, bro. Like
That's tough.
you can't beat out Danny Edlin. I can understand Joe Burrow, bro. You know, Joe Burrow was in the class by himself, bro. Probably the greatest LSU quarterback to play. But you can't beat out Danny Edlin.
he was a
That's
freshman.
telling, bro.
Dude was like $170 when he came into college. He had to put on some weight.
Hey man,
He's gonna get killed out there.
Danny Allen is some poop.
He was, but I mean, it was obviously a redshirt year. Come on, guy. You can't expect a guy that don't play in 4 years to come out there and know when to slow the offense down. That is on coaching right there.
So
That's
right now, I'm going to go ahead and put this on record. I got a bet for all you want to bet that Max Johnson is the starter.
I didn't say he wasn't.
Now
I didn't say he wasn't.
I'm saying it's a bet. Max Johnson will be the open starter, and Miles Brennan will put in his transfer. I mean, put in his name in the transfer portal 2 weeks before the season.
I mean, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I'm not saying that he was going to start. I was just saying that you can't count the guy out just because it's first spring practice.
I think Miles Brennan is going to be at Southern Miss before he's going to be back in his home state before whenever the summer workouts start and they start ramping up practices. I think he's going to realize that the starting job is gone. He's going to try to get somewhere and save his college career. I just don't think right now, just for Ed Ogeron's sake, I don't think you need to roll with Miles Brennan. Just for the fact that you need to go. You got these highly touted freshman quarterback coming in out of Texas.
Yeah, he gonna
and
lose quarterbacks.
you got Walker Howard coming in, a top 5 freshman. You can't start Miles Brennan, and then what you gonna do? You gonna redshirt Max Johnson? So you pushing these guys back that you getting coming in either further back down the depth chart because you're not gonna start Max Johnson. You're not gonna start them guys on Max Johnson or TJ Finley. I think TJ Finley is probably going to be the odd man out. I think TJ ends up transferring. Um, I would like to see him go to somewhere really good that they could really play him. I think TJ got a bad end of the stick. I didn't think they game plan for TJ's strengths very well. They did Max Johnson a service by actually moving the pocket for him, getting him outside, and and Max Johnson's a mobile guy. TJ is too, but I think TJ is more in the mode of a Jamarcus Russell. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a power runner than doing read option sweeps and stuff like that. So, but
I
like I
think
said,
he need to drop some weight. I think he's a little heavy.
yeah. He was a little chunky, man. But he was a freshman, man. He was a little chunky. He did end up dropping 20 pounds when he came, but I think he needs to get down to about 230. And then I think
Or
he'll
at
be
least turn
good
into
there.
muscle. Take that baby fat and turn into muscle.
Yeah, but I've seen a picture of me. I mean, he didn't drop a little bit of weight. He getting a little cut, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, but my Ed, please roll with Max Johnson, man. I'm telling you, him and Keyshawn Boutte, the pride of Westgate, New Arbery, Louisiana, man. I'm telling you, you don't go wrong. Their chemistry. The
Yeah,
guy
them
set
guys is balling,
records
bro.
those past 3 games, man. He set a SEC receiver record, not a freshman record, a receiving record those past 3 games. He had almost 1,000 yards receiving those last 3 games. So let's go ahead and just roll with the punches, man. Max Johnson's the way to go.
True that. I agree.
I agree. Think we should go with him. I mean, I'm definitely excited for this next season, especially after this past year. I think it's gonna be a good bounce back season, especially if they roll with Max. So we'll see what happens, man.
But fellas, the offense wasn't the problem. It's the defense. That defense needs to improve.
Yeah, it was bad, but I think we got
Uh,
the
it was
right
What's
man
poor.
for
the
the
what's the
job.
recruiting class looking like? I don't really be paying
Top
attention
three
to
again,
that.
Ron. Top three again, bro. It just they get the top three recruiting class every year, in the year out. I think this upcoming one they need to get a couple of linemen, but other than that, man, it's a reload session, bro.
I think
Yeah,
they
You know,
won.
that's the good thing about college, man. You can have a bad defense one year and one recruiting class. You fill a few holes and you right back.
not a one
Especially,
position I'm worried about. One more thing is a safety. Um, what you gonna start 2 freshmen? I like Todd Harris. Jared don't like Todd Harris much, but I think Todd Harris is pretty good.
I don't.
But what are you gonna do? Are you gonna start 2 freshmen? You gonna start, Lafayette, Louisiana's own Sage Ryan, Kevin Falk's cousin, and you gonna roll with the other guy from Pennsylvania, the safety that you got also as well. You're gonna roll with both of them. That's what Ed was talking about. How he might have 2 starting freshman safeties. So
Why not?
like I
I
said, man,
mean,
I'm excited to see the position battle, man. I think Todd could be a starter. If not, even if he's not capable of being, I think he'll be the starter week 1. And I think there's going to be another. He's going to be a freshman on the side for sure. I think he's going to have a freshman safety starting on the side of him. So I
I,
think that's going to be Sage Ryan. I think Sage is going to be playing free safety and Todd will be playing strong. So
I mean, dude, you would think. I mean, it was part of the scheme. Beauplan didn't want to change up. He didn't want to adjust to his players' strengths. But when you got Stingley on one side, you got now Eli Ricks that's coming to his own. I mean, I'm looking to see Dwight McGlothern. I hope they play him more because
J Ward too. J
J
Ward came on
Ward,
pretty strong too.
yeah. I mean,
But I tell
safety
you who I
just
don't want to see.
oh, don't say his name, please. I avoid him for a reason. I avoid him
I
for
can
a
tell you
reason.
who I don't want to see on the field.
But
That damn
this,
Cardell burnt toast flop, bro.
oh man, dude, you would think they would
Help him.
fucking realize like, dude is not good, bro. It's like,
And he
why are
played
you
good his
using
freshman year though, man. I don't understand what
one
happened, bro.
coverage with
I don't
no
understand
safety
what
on the
happened.
top? But
Uh,
secondary is not my concern. My concern is linebackers. Linebackers, we have very inexperienced. I mean, hopefully these guys can come around, but D line is just looking stacked.
Oh yeah, D-line already
Everybody
the GOAT.
came back. Plus, you got the number one D tackle in the country last year, Mason Smith. He's on there. Jaqueline Roy came on in. You know,
Guillory.
Guillory, Jacobin Guillory, he played sparingly, but you know,
Oh, they
he,
gonna have
he
they can go
come around.
Ali Gay. They can go AD on that D line this year easy. I think they can
Andre
stay
Anthony
fresh.
said he's gonna be on the other side probably, and you still
Yeah,
got BJ Argelari.
exactly,
Like
bro.
that D
They
line
can
is gonna be a terror. It's just
eight to
linebackers, just
8 to 10
linebackers.
deep, bro. 8 to 10 deep. I think they can go 8 to 10 deep on that D line and keep everybody fresh, man. That's a scary D line, bro. They can stay healthy and keep everybody fresh, man. They could literally send four new bodies of each possession, bro.
Yeah,
And they can just rotate those big balls. And Mason
scary.
Smith, bro, he reminds me of like a young Ndamukong Suh, man. Like when he first came in the league, man. He's 6'5", 330. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. So he gonna really push that pocket, man. So hopefully he sees the field early because I like to see him get after that quarterback and stop the run. But man, if y'all ain't got nothing else, man, I guess we can go ahead and have with this first elite behind the boots podcast, man.
Mom
Definitely.
hungry.
What your opinion,
It
guys?
was a solid first episode, man. Y'all tell the people where they can find you. It's your Twitter handle so people can go follow, get at you with their sports stuff.
Man, look at DJ Go on Instagram and Twitter. Look at _DJ Go on Twitter. You can find me and
And
Daniel Poppy on Facebook if y'all want to go ahead and
and
shoot that as well.
the go in his handle is GEAUX. Y'all make sure y'all
Can't
spell
forget
that
that.
right.
Can't forget that.
Jared, tell the people where they can find you, man.
Your boys on Facebook don't really get on that much, but Twitter, I'm just starting to get back on. You know, I fell off for a couple of years, but decided to give another go. Go with underscore the DA flow the Cajun way. FLEAUX all caps. And I don't get Instagram, so that's pointless. But those two platforms, catch the ball on. I'll try to be more involved in the coming weeks.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we will be back for another episode of Behind the Boot, a Louisiana sports podcast. Y'all rock with us.